So these things are, what we're concerned about. They're obviously not world-ending events. They're obviously localized, as you've just seen. But if you had 50 or 60 of these, and if one of them just possibly happened to happen in a big way over a major city, and also put all of these dust products into the atmosphere, which would affect the climate, we're looking at something that could really, really harm our civilization in a very serious way. It's not the end of the world, though. That's why I say, we're not worried about it. If we happen to be in the spot where one of them blows up over our heads and we all get ablated, okay, that's it. I'm perfectly happy to go out that way. But otherwise, it's going to happen here or there and here and there, and lots of people have the opportunity to survive and to know what's going on.
Okay.
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah. All right, and you've submitted your findings to a peer-reviewed journal?
Well,
I've written books about it.
Okay, you're right, you've gotten a book. My question is, have you submitted your findings to any type of peer-reviewed journal? This is something which is scientific.
Well, a lot of the information in the book draws from
information from peer-reviewed journals.
Yeah.
I am a writer. I am not the scientist. I am the synthesizer. But I will tell you, I got an email from Mike Bailey this morning. He says, "Boy, does this look interesting. He's covered a lot of ground."
Yeah. The name of the book is Comets and the Horns of Moses, just in case you're interested. But we're gonna let you go, and thanks for the call. We're gonna take another call here, okay?
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to another call here. Maybe. No, it dropped off. I think when we leave people on hold too long, they get bored. I don't know, or they get bored.
Yeah.
They get bored calling. Maybe they'll call back. Anyway, yeah, I mean...
Well, that's a completely understandable point. I mean, this is new to a lot of people. So...
it shouldn't be new to a lot of people because we've been writing about it, publishing about it for the last, 13 years?
I do have a...
We got someone here? No. That sounded like someone here too. Anyway. Yeah, we've been hanging on about the subject for so long, but who else has?
Yeah, well, nobody else has been, and it's now when events like that happened in Russia happen, and people record it, and you have video and stuff, and it goes worldwide, that we can kind of say, we've been talking about this for 10 years and nobody's been listening now, and we knew that was going to happen. But hang on, there's another call here.
Hello?
Hi. Hello, caller. What's your name?
Timothy.
Hi, Timothy. Where are you from?
I'm from North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yay, North Carolina!
We like North Carolina.
We like North Carolina. Welcome to the show, Timothy.
Yeah.
What's your question or comment?
Yeah, I had a question about the impact, the speed of Earth. Earth travels through space at over 65,000 miles per hour.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Close enough.
When you look at the trajectory of some of these meteors and asteroids that come into our atmosphere, it's kind of strange the clocking that's done on those, or anywhere between 12 and 17,000 miles per hour. I guess my question is, I've been led to look at gravity, but when you have a body like Earth and the Moon moving at 65,000 miles an hour through space, it's just kind of strange to see something traveling at 17,000 miles an hour catch it and hit it, strike it. It's not like a collision.
Well, I think that what happens is that the Earth passes through these streams of debris, and I think that what's really more amazing is that more of them don't actually hit, and I guess that's probably because in their particular orbits, the meteorite or the meteor orbits, the meteor streams, I think that they have clumps. Like they have long stretches, like a big ribbon, at a right angle to the Earth's orbit, and they're clumps of things in them, and they don't always intersect with the big clump with the Earth when it's passing through that particular point. I was reading about this Russian thing, and they were saying that it was coming coming from the direction of the sun. Wasn't that what they said?
Yeah, hence they couldn't track it because they were blindsided by it, something like that.
Yeah, and so there's some really strange things about all of it that we'd really like to know, and I've got some queries out to some of the experts, and hopefully they're going to give me some answers so that it can go into the next book, or we can get it into an article. Fortunately, we do have some experts on our team, and we have people who do publish in peer-reviewed journals who can give us information. But yeah, I see your point.
Right.
It's got a 17-minute window to hit. Before the Earth is gone from that spot.
Yeah, you would imagine like a missile coming through the sky trying to shoot it down with a .22. It's nearly impossible because of the just the sheer magnitude of speed in which science seems to clock Earth in a 365-day route. Now, let's say that at 93,000 miles away, the sun being, let's say that it travels around. Let's say it travels around the Earth in 24 hours. If you did that kind of math, you could see where that would grow a scientist's mind.
What's traveling around the Earth?
Excuse me?
What's traveling around the Earth?
Instead of imagining our solar system as the sun being the center, in other words, you would imagine the Earth being center and the sun traveling around Earth in 24 hours. What would the speed of that be? And then when you start to, if you look at history and the times of these discoveries of how our orbits and the planets and the Egyptian hieroglyphs and et cetera, you just come away with a much mightier and more quantum physics type of reality as far as space is concerned. But it doesn't make any sense, if you look at something 65,000 miles an hour and then a meteor hits you at 17,000 miles an hour, it just makes you stop and wonder about science's mathematics.
I see what you're saying. There's some mysterious thing going on there. There's an attractor, wouldn't you say?
Well, if you got something moving at 65,000 miles an hour through space, and you have these SHO and these telescopes up here from NASA,
and they can't see it.
You would assume that Earth, by way of their trajectory, they're all looking at the sun really, at different perspectives of space around it, and feed us data. One thing that blows my mind is that the comet Lovejoy was discovered by a man in Australia, and NASA has $100 trillion worth of imagery equipment. It's just
one thing you got to remember is that space is big. It's big, and you're looking for little rocks.
Yeah, well, there's also a lot of things that NASA doesn't tell us. Exactly. They have classified all information about incoming space rocks.
Exactly. Now, everything we get from NASA says that confirms Comet Lovejoy, and then they show you footage of Comet Lovejoy heading towards the sun. Now, when you see that, and you see that it has the name Comet Lovejoy, it makes one wonder how it doesn't have something like DA-14 stamped on it. It seems like it would have been a NASA number because of its sheer size 400 years ago. Just watching something like that come towards the sun seems to be very...
There is nothing that makes sense with coming out of NASA.
It doesn't. It does. None of it does.
You have to work from the idea that all of those established authorities have some sort of ulterior motive, that they have some sort of agenda to prevent you from having any kind of information about that type of stuff. On the grounds that, like, Laura was saying a minute ago, is that there's really nothing you can do about a giant rock heading towards you. It's sort of like the Armageddon problem. We can't just shoot missiles at it type of thing.
Right, you have to have a laser.
You can't do anything about it. And no government wants to say, shit's going to happen and we can't do anything to protect you. And people are going to be like, then why are we giving you all this money and listening to you? So they don't want that. So NASA has a vested interest in preventing any person from having access to information that would scare them or make them call into the question the authority, the established authorities. So, those are some great points, dude.
Absolutely, and thanks for calling.
You're welcome. I would love to have hundreds of other questions of all the other mathematics and all that. There's
the mathematician is not with us tonight. He's upstairs working.
You should go to Amazon.com and look.
Go to where?
Go to Amazon.com and look for Comets and the Horns of Moses. You can get it as a Kindle book. If you don't have a Kindle, you just sort of download the little reader. You can just read it on your computer.
Or you can buy the hard copy.
It's
not too expensive, and there'll be a lot of stuff in there, I think, that'll interest you if you're interested in this topic, you know.
Right. Well, see, right now, when I'm reading the books that are available from, I will say, around Christ's era, maybe a little before, that have, when you look at Aristotle and those guys, and you follow their work, then what they're basing all their studies and work on seems to be some kind of base that was prior to their ability to start researching it.
Well, Timothy, you got to read this book then, because
you brought up Aristotle. Yeah,
all of the philosophers are in there, and what was going on around that time, and what they were saying, and why they were saying it.
And why?
It's called Comets and the Horns of Moses.
You know what the whole answer of it is, though? What I found the answer to it all is that, and this may blow your mind, but the King James Version of the Holy Bible, it gives you a creation order that seems to put in a different perspective if you think about the way God wrote the creation being the sun being created on the fourth day. When you look at those,
and that's why you're going to love Comets and the Horns of Moses. Just think, the Horns of Moses. It's all about the stuff you're talking about. Get it and read it, please.
Well, you guys ought to mention Joshua chapter 10 and verse 12.
When the sun stood still.
Right. Well, it didn't just sit still. But he knew where the sun would sit still at and named it, and the moon, where it would be positioned at on earth. So Joshua knew where the sun was at that time, he also knew where the moon was at on the other side of the planet. You see what I mean?
Well, of course. And that takes mathematical calculation ability, because, to be able to calculate where the moon is going to be when it's not in view, you have to be able to do the math.
That's right. Written before Christ. That is the beauty of it. So you're getting a history that seems to embrace every theory being chased after today, but all of them. In other words, if you're chasing a false mathematic, you'll always end up with some kind of magical-looking thing, but it's not really. That's all
the stuff that we've got in this book, and this, that's why I say, go out and get the book. We got another caller coming in, so thanks for calling.
You guys have a great day.
You too, Timothy.
And rah, North Carolina.
Awesome.
All right, take care, Tim.
See ya.
Have a good afternoon, actually. It is mind-boggling. Wait, hold on.
You lost it. You lost the caller.
We gotta stop letting the callers run. Sorry, Tim. People run along and then somebody else gets dropped. So.
Okay, hang on. Here's the caller's back.
Okay.
This is a caller show.
Yeah.
Hi, caller. What's your name and where are you from?
Hi, it's Lynn. I'm calling from Canada.
Hey, Lynn.
Welcome. Is it cold in Canada right now?
We like Canada.
We love Canada. No, we don't. Yeah, we do.
Jason.
Oh, Lynn. So yes, we do. Lynn. Yes, we do. Okay, Lynn. Sorry.
And what's your question or comment?
Well, it's more a comment. First of all, I want to say I've already got my copy of Horns of Moses. It's completely fantastic. Everybody should read that book, and I really want to thank Laura for making that information available.